Aloha everybody and welcome back to Kyle Astrology 1122, and today I'm finally going to be continuing a series I started like probably a month or so ago about kind of putting the different combination of sun signs together with your Scorpio rising. Or this could be if you know someone with a Scorpio rising and wondering what it's like to have the different combinations of sun signs for them. So either way, whatever brings you here, the installment today is going to be talking about having Scorpio rising or Scorpio ascendant with a Taurus sun sign, with a sun in Taurus. So this is a really fun one, and I've gotten a lot of requests for this one specifically. So this is for all of you. It's very interesting to me because Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. And so what does that mean, right? The opposition signs between the 6 different pairs of them you can have, yeah, they're called the opposing sign, but I call them like the complementary sign. Every sign in the zodiac has one, and for Scorpio, it's going to be Taurus. This axis deals with life and death. Taurus representing life and everything earthly and fruitful, and Scorpio ruling death in the underworld and all of the dark stuff. And you know, because Scorpio being ruled by Pluto and Mars, it's that plutonic and aggressive Mars energy, and Taurus being ruled by Venus, it's what's sweet, it's what's comfortable, it's laid back, you know, and Scorpio is fucking chaos. So how this presents itself when someone has the Scorpio rising, which is their life path, right, and their their soul is incarnated in this lifetime, right? The sun sign is more of the ego and outer surface appearances, what some call the mask. Everyone usually says the ascendant is the mask. I think the sun sign is the mask. Different video though. Watch my other video for that one. So having the Taurus ego, this is going to be somebody that, because Taurus does deal with a lot of ego type things, you know, it's fixed earth, it's rooted in the earth. This is the most rooted sign in the zodiac. This is the most stubborn sign in the zodiac. And so having Scorpio and Taurus, it's like you're going to deal with someone that has a very strong will here. Very, very strong will, very stubborn, very resistant to change. But then the Scorpio ascendant is going to be going through so many changes inevitably. And so this person is going to have an even harder time with, you know, the whole life, death, rebirth thing that Scorpio is constantly going through, because the Taurus sun is really going to resist it. So what kind of has to happen here is this person is really going to have to go within their self and be like, listen, do I want comfort or do I want growth? And it's not just because Scorpio, when it's operating in its lower octave, the Scorpio changing can, you know, go cause chaos and destruction just for the sake of it, right? Because they're bored, and that is something that happens with this placement. But the Taurus sun is going to be able to balance that out and be like, we are only absolutely going to let this happen when it's needed. So that's a very beneficial thing to have here, but they still have to let that process happen. That's kind of the catch-22 there. So some other things that kind of come along with this one, you know, it's like the ascendant's being ruled by Mars and Pluto, like we said. The sun's being ruled by Venus here. This is typically going to be a person, Scorpio ascendants are already usually very striking. They've got the big eyes, they got the gaze, they're usually very easy to kind of pick out of a crowd. They just have this look to them. And then the Taurus sun is probably going to has that Venusian quality, so it's going to be, I would assume, a very attractive person, but that has that intense edge to them at the same time. It's also the thing here, wherever you have water and earth blending together, it's going to be a person that has a really good balance between rational logic, but also emotional intelligence as well, to go along with the, not intellectual intelligence, that's more of an air sign thing, but practical intelligence, which is the earth sign domain, you know, dealing with the things in life that have to do with security and how you're earning your money, and what makes you feel good in life, those things that make you feel good, as opposed to some of the things that can make you feel bad, right? And so it's kind of finding that constant balance between these two, and the dichotomy that comes along with it, but also the blend at the same time. So some other things to keep in mind are, you know, Taurus is, Taurus finds different ways to cope emotionally than Scorpio does. Taurus is going to cope with change and stresses and just everyday life, usually through things that are material. Scorpio copes through things that are the unseen, the emotions that they feel, the spirituality that they subscribe to, or lack thereof, whatever the belief or lack of belief system is. Scorpio is more about the unseen stuff, and Taurus is about the stuff that is here, it's seen, it can be measured, it's tangible, you can feel it. So it's kind of bringing the external world and the internal world together and seeing, okay, not only how do these two blend, how do they mesh, but especially this being a fixed energy, how do we conceptualize this? How do we make this something that, how do we bring about the fruits of that emotional labor, right? So if the Taurus Sun has some kind of activity, whether it's cooking or cleaning even, or just some kind of activity that's done in the physical but that also relates to something emotionally in their life to appease the Scorpio Ascendant, that's going to be like huge. That's going to be huge for this placement. So that's really the main gist of having the Scorpio Sun with the Taurus, or the Scorpio Ascendant and Rising with the Taurus Sun. You know, again, with the opposing signs, you think, oh God, that's scary, but actually it's really not. I think it's a very beautiful placement. I think where you find any of the opposing signs, but especially between the Ascendant and the Sun, it's really interesting because the rising sign and the Sun sign have so much to do with external appearances in the world, and so it could seem like this is a person that's kind of like at war with themselves because of those oppositions, but really once it's brought down to earth and understand in a way that it's kind of working for their benefits, it's like, okay, this is actually a good thing. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this was relatable in some way. Please leave down in the comments below what your thoughts are. And I will be churning some more of these sun sign videos out that go along with the Scorpio Rising soon. And in the meantime, if you want a reading with me, check out my website in the link below. And I will be back with more videos soon, guys. Thank you so much. Much aloha and happy transiting.